Bounce with me, bounce with me. Da da da. Okay, hey, this is Molly with Clean Food Dirty Girl. And I've been posting on Instagram my blanched collard wraps lately. I've been eating a lot of those just because the collard greens right now that I'm getting are amazing. So I had some people ask how to do it. So I'm just gonna jump on here and show you the way that I do it. And so maybe you can make your collard wraps a little bit easier. So I know that the first thing is like these things can be a little bit messy and you can't expect it to act as a tortilla exactly, but it can be close. So today we're gonna make a hummus wrap and I'm just gonna show you my process of how I do this. So the first thing, I have a bunch of beautiful collard greens right here. And this is really the easiest to do with actual collard greens. So like people ask if they can do it with kale or other veggies, but the thing about collard greens are that the leaves are really big, right? And they can hold a lot of stuff. So it's really best to do it with collards. So the next thing is to pick up your bunch of collards at the store at the farmer's market and pick out like the 2 or 3 biggest leaves that have the least amount of holes. So like there's a hole in this one. There's kind of holes in all of them because they're organic and so little bugs have gotten to them. But I'm gonna choose this one here because it's pretty big. It does have holes, but that's okay. That's why we choose a couple. And I'm gonna choose this one and I'm gonna choose this one. Okay, so I'm gonna put these aside. And the next thing you wanna do is you wanna cut off the stem at the base and slice it down. So I'm gonna move my camera down a little bit so that you can see me do this. All right, so I'm gonna start with the first one here, and a paring knife is really best for this. So I'm gonna cut this right here at the base, and I'm just gonna set this over here, and then I'm gonna take my paring knife and away from me, you see that this stem is kind of bumpy, it kind of goes up, it has a ridge. I'm just gonna shave it down a little bit. So the sharper your knife, the easier it is to do this, and you won't get this perfectly, but be sure to do this away from you and not towards you in case your knife slips. So I just shave it down as best I can to get it flush with the collard. Okay, so there's one. So I'm gonna do this with all 3 of these. And I'm gonna shave this down a little bit. So this will make it easier to eat so you don't have this big stem. Even though we're gonna blanch this, the stems don't get super, super soft. So the more you can trim off the stem, the easier. Okay, and we'll just do one more, trim that. And then again, go away from you and just shave it down. And the bigger the collards, the easier it is to do this. Like the smaller collards don't have as big of a stem, which is fine because maybe you don't have to shave them down as much. Okay, so the next thing I will do is just rinse. Just give them a little wash, even though we're gonna be blanching them. Sometimes there's like some grit or some dirt you want to get rid of. Okay, so I have a pan of water behind me that I heated up. You don't have to have much water, but you do have to have, put in like maybe a couple of cups of water into a pot. And it doesn't even have to be boiling. It can be just kind of simmering or steaming. And all you want to do is submerge the greens into the pot and just kind of get them down the best you can. Don't put them down with your fingers. Just use like a cooking utensil or a fork, a spoon, a pair of tongs, whatever you have. And just kind of push them down in there until they get submerged in water. Now the thing is, you want to be gentle during this process because you don't want to tear them. So a fork really isn't the best tool, but like that's just what I had right there. So I would just use the top of my fork and just kind of press instead of the tines of my fork pressing down. Okay, so here's the thing about how long to leave them. There really is no right answer for this. The more they are in water blanching, the softer they will be. So you want to give them a little bit of time. I usually go for like 30 seconds to a minute tops. and then I take them out because you don't want them too soft or else they won't kind of hold everything together. So when they're bright green, and you can count 30 seconds to a minute is fine. And when they're bright green, they're ready to take out. So next to my pot, I have a plate and a colander that I'm just going to put them in so that the excess water can drip into the colander. Okay, so I will just, a pair of tongs works really well for this, but because I just moved, my kitchen isn't set up yet, I'll just have to make do with what I have. All right, so I'm going to take them out and set them in there. Okay. Woo. And grab this by that little hole. Ah, perfect. Turn off my heat. Okay. So now I have 3 blanched collard leaves. Isn't that easy? So easy. So you have a couple of options here. Sometimes what I do is I then get a bowl of water and put some cold water and some ice, or a bowl and put cold water and ice in it. And then I submerge my wraps into that water if I'm not going to eat them right away or if I want them to stop cooling. But right now, because I'm ready to eat right now and I don't want to be bothered with that, I'm just gonna wrap them without putting them in an ice bath. Okay, so this next part is all about the wrap. So this is where most people get tripped up because they say that they reach here and then they wrap and then it all falls apart. And it might. Again, this is like kind of a messy process. And it's not like, I don't think I've ever gotten through a collard wrap without it not falling apart a little bit. But we're gonna just do the best we can. Again, just have fun, play around with it. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just lay out the leaves. And if there's any holes, I want to make sure to have part of a leaf cover that hole. Okay, so there's 2, and I have this third one, and I'm just gonna put this third one right in the middle. Okay, so, and I can make this a little bit bigger by kind of taking these out a little bit. But then there's that hole there, so maybe I'll put, let's see, maybe I'll put it on that side, do it like that. So you just kind of have to play around with it and kind of, it's like patching something up. You know, just make sure there's no big holes right in the middle because that's where you're gonna put your fillings. And then this guy can kind of go right there. Maybe it's not a guy, maybe it's a chick. Okay, so now we have this kind of blank canvas to wrap in. And what you put in here is all up to you, whatever you have, right? So right now, in my fridge, I have some hummus. So, and this is just cold, I'm just going to spread some hummus down the middle. So this is gonna be my middle right here, right? And I think that the main thing is you don't wanna go overboard with your ingredients because I do this all the time. I just get too excited and put too much stuff in. And then it ends up kind of coming out. And then I'll add some rice. So this is cooked brown rice that I heated up. I'll put some of this in the middle. And then I'm gonna put some chopped carrots, some chopped radish, and some sprouts. So again, probably not all of it, just because we don't want there to be so much ingredients that it's like bursting. And again, I have a problem with this. My wraps are always bursting. And I'll put those sprouts down the middle. Okay, and now I'm going to get some sauerkraut. And put a little bit of sauerkraut down the middle. And you can really, you know, do whatever you want with this. You don't have to do these ingredients. You can use any ingredients or combination of ingredients that you happen to have in your fridge. Okay, and then from here, I have a dressing, and this was just a dressing that I tested for a meal plan. So whatever dressing you have, whatever dirty dressing you have in your fridge works. This one's a little thin. Obviously, the test didn't go as well as planned. But you know what? I'm going to have it and eat it and use it. So it works. Okay. So here we have now, this is ready to wrap. And you want to wrap this, let me see you. There you are. Exactly like a burrito. like a tortilla, like you would wrap a tortilla. So I'm going to start with the ends, and I'm going to fold them in. And I want to do it nice and tight, so I don't want to have there be a lot of space. So I really want to come to the end of the ingredients and pull it over. And from here, I'm going to go do this sideways so you can see. I'm going to pull the stuff, like here's, you know, this is the middle. I'm kind of pulling the stuff towards me so I'm pulling it towards me, and I'm also wrapping away from me. So it's nice and tight. And then I'm going to wrap and wrap and wrap. So I think, so here you go. A beautiful wrap. And I could even cut this in half if I wanted to. It would make it a little bit harder to eat, but just to show you, it should be wrapped tight enough so that you can cut it in half and have a really nice wrap. Okay, so I think the main thing is to have it be, you have to roll it tight so you have to be gentle and kind of hard at the same time, because you're kind of pushing it all together while you're pulling it and then wrapping it tight. So the tighter it is, the easier it's going to be to eat. Now, when I eat this, like by the end, there is going to be some stuff coming out of the end, and it's not going to be, like I said, super pretty, and it's not going to be like a tortilla that doesn't split. Well, if you're eating sprouted tortillas, those always split anyways. But this should be, you know, it's nice enough to hold up in your hand at least and not have to use a fork. So this is it. Pretty simple, and it's a really good way to use up collards. It's a great way to wrap really any ingredients and get a ton of nutrients into your bod. And for me, like, I don't really buy tortillas anymore. Sometimes I'll buy corn tortillas, but like even the sprouted tortillas, I just find that this is more satisfying to eat. But, you know, mix it up. Do some of this, do some tortillas, do bowls, whatever. Just make sure you're eating all the plants and rotate your greens, and so you're getting a full spectrum of nutrients. So yeah, let me know how this goes for you. Okay? All right. Cheers. Oh, and one more thing. If you sign up for the meal plans, we do have these wraps from time to time, and so it's a great way to kind of like diversify things. If you're not on the meal plans, get on the meal plans, because we give you new recipes every week that are amazing and will have you, you know, really excited about eating plants. Okay, bye. I figured you might want to see me eat this thing to make sure that it works. Here we go. There was a little dressing that came out, but they're staying together. And the more collard leaves you use, the thicker it's going to be, the more greens you're going to get. But for the most part, it holds up like a champ. Okay, now you will make one. Bye.